So let's get started. So today is let's talk about bilingual mindset, and now I'm streaming from Poland in Europe. Usually living in Crete in Greece, and today is actually streaming from Poland. And I learned some languages in Polish. Dzień dobry and dziękuję. I think thank you and hello, and wodę is water. So yeah, here is I think everyone want to learn Japanese, and I think today I hope I can get something really good information and to you for learning Japanese. I mean, one of the fastest way to learn Japanese is this, bilingual mindset. You really need it, and we can talk about these things and also a little bit actually culture differences later. Maybe you're thinking to move to Japan, or you are already living in Japan and you are actually have many maybe communication trouble in Japan because of the cultural differences or because of your language skill, and some people cannot find a job in Japan. Some people actually having the job, but it's maybe they cannot have better position in the company because they cannot communicate very well. Or a lot of people trouble with the human relation. Maybe they cannot communicate with children very well because your child is actually learning Japanese, but you cannot speak Japanese. Or your wife can speak English, but you are not learning Japanese because everybody speaks to you in English. Or you are maybe teaching English and you are just teaching English, you are not learning Japanese. Anyway, a tons of problem actually when you live in Japan or you are learning Japanese by yourself, but you cannot make progress. So here we can definitely solve the problem. There is no problem that you cannot solve it. You can solve. You can solve it. You just need to know how to solve it, and so you can learn Japanese in the fastest way. So here we can figure out what is the most efficient way to learn Japanese. And if you have any question, you can tell me what is the trouble, what is the question. Here, I'm sharing the chat. Okay, so let's get started. So today I wanted to talk about this bilingual mindset. So what is a bilingual mindset? Many people say, I want to learn Japanese. Many people say, I want to learn Japanese, or I'm studying Japanese. But when I ask you, can you speak Japanese confidently? Which is, are you bilingual, like English, Japanese, both influent? Then a lot of people say, I'm studying Japanese, but I cannot speak Japanese fluently. So here's a problem. Because you are already studying, then you cannot speak. Why is that? Why these things happen? If you don't figure out the problem, of course, you're going to continue the same situation, right? You're studying Japanese, but you cannot speak. Or you actually having the JLPT, but you cannot speak. So what do you think here is what is exactly the problem? Yeah. So personally, I was also this really typical Japanese person studying English but couldn't speak English very well. And then it's been so many years the same situation, which is studying English but cannot speak English. And I really frustrated. It's wasting my time that I'm getting older, but I cannot really even speaking English fluently. It's not actually making progress. Should I change the learning structure or not? Then I change it. Then now I'm speaking 4 languages. That's so happy. Like I really I'm happy that I changed the learning structure. So here, the first point is what I changed is this bilingual mindset. So a lot of people are just studying, but they don't have bilingual mindset. It's like what can I say? Like you want to be a basketball player. You are studying basketball. You're watching basketball player, but you are not playing. So that's why you cannot be a basketball player, of course, because you're just watching basketball. You're not playing basketball. It's just simply, I mean, logically, you can understand this person just watching the basketball player, they cannot play basketball. So that's why bilingual mindset is you are studying so hard doesn't mean you will be able to speak Japanese fluently. You really need to know these things. It's like you're studying the basketball, you're not playing basketball. You're studying Japanese, or you're not speaking Japanese. So this situation, you really need to stop today. Otherwise, you will never be able to speak Japanese. So let's talk about this bilingual mindset. So I summarize clearly in our social media like Japan Language Factory on Instagram or even Facebook, on our YouTube. No, we on our YouTube, no, Instagram or Facebook. We already published this bilingual mindset. So let's actually learn step by step. So number one is don't worry about mistakes. Enjoy learning child. So which is are you really speaking Japanese? How much are you really speaking? First of all, like every day. How many hours do you speak Japanese? Maybe even not 1 minute, some people. So, like, how many hours do you speak Japanese? And then if you say zero, it's simply you will never be able to speak Japanese. It's like you never really exercise basketball, how to play. So even if you study too much, you can't play. So how many hours do you speak Japanese? Is a question. So then, because I'm not living, because I don't use Japanese, because in my business I don't need to use it, and a lot of people say the reason they are not using, they're not living, or they are not actually using because they don't need to. And then it's so difficult to actually one day they'll be able to speak Japanese, even they're studying so much. うん。こんにちは、ライゾーさん。こんにちは。Yeah. So that's why, yeah, the point is how you can actually really practice a little bit more. And in Japan Language Factory, we do this bilingual training. We actually say always at least 20 minutes you have to speak. You have to really use your mouth. Otherwise, you can't speak almost anything. And so it's 20 minutes. Either you talk to the people or you actually do this self-training, 20 minutes at least. Self-training, how you do it, you actually need to simulate the conversation. For example, let's say you want to pass a job interview, or you want to um, make a friends. What is a 10 minutes conversation? Just something typical, something typical. Kalimera, Kalimera, from Greece. And so let's say like, because Gara style 100, talk to me in Greek. And like in Greece, what is a common conversation? Kalimera, tikanis, τι έκανες χθες, what did you do yesterday? Or like if it's for the first time you meet this person, then τι δουλειά κάνεις, like what do you work for, or something like, there is always typical conversation between the people, right? And then you just need to know what is a common conversation in Japan, right? Because you want to be able to speak Japanese. You just need to know what is a common conversation in Japan. Now here is the problem, because it's totally different culture. in Greece and then in Japan. It's totally different. And so you need to know, the cultural differences. That's why I'm here. We are here. I mean, native teacher, right? You can ask like, what is actually the common conversation, right? And then you actually simulate. So as I said, 10 minutes, actually you need to 20 minutes at least. If you can do this conversation simulation, you can actually really simulate yourself that you are actually speaking Japanese. That's really, really practical exercise. So number 2, make opportunity to speak on your own. So that's actually, yes, it's really, really important, is make opportunity to speak. So that's why, as I said, if you're living in Japan, no way, you have to use every day. And if you're not living, make opportunity. Either like me, you do live streaming, but if you don't want to do these social media things, you can still like make a friends and on the Hello Talk or any language exchange or like any like a social media. It's so easy to make a friends because one of our students living in Germany, uh, he haven't lived in Japan yet, but making friends with Japanese people, that's you can do it online. So you actually make the opportunity to speak Japanese. Otherwise, if you're not using every day, you just forget. Everything you can forget easily. So we need to use it. So number 3, use it 2 languages in everyday life. Yes, exactly. Use it 2 languages everyday life. At least, if you're native English speaker, then English and Japanese every day. Use it. But then, and how should you use? Because you're not living in Japan, or anyway, if you're living in Japan, it's so a little bit easier now. Let's say you're just watching the Japanese movie or anime, just delete, just turn off English subtitle. Watch Japanese in anime only in Japanese. You can put the Japanese subtitle or just delete, turn off the subtitle. Watch anime or watch Japanese anime or Japanese movie without subtitle. If you're putting a subtitle, it's gonna be just the entertainment. You're just enjoying the anime. You're not learning Japanese at all. It's not helping at all. Like my daughter is 6 years old. She cannot read the subtitle, no meaning to put the subtitle. So that's why we watch anime and only in Japanese, of course. Of course, you can't, or my daughter can't understand 100% of story. But that's the exercise, right? You should not put subtitle in English. Otherwise, you can't learn anything. You're just enjoying the anime, but you can't learn Japanese. So if you want to learn Japanese and then watching like something, please delete the subtitle. Okay, so next is number 4. Try to reply in Japanese, even they speak to you in English. Yes. So, what about you guys? How many Japanese friends do you have? My question, how many Japanese friends do you have? Maybe 0 or yes, 1. Sam. So how many Japanese friends do you have? Making friends to practice Japanese. Some people, it's because maybe culture differences, difficult to make friends. But it's just, you just need to make it because it's otherwise you can't have a practice to speak. You cannot practice everything alone. You have to practice. So that's why then now you need a Japanese friends. And how you make it? And online, go to Japan, live in Japan, you actually go to the bar, restaurant, or online, or during the business, anything. There's so many ways to actually, be more sociable or do the networking. and try to make Japanese friends to just practice, even if you don't really, if you're not really interested in Japanese, actually, maybe culture. Some people are really interested in, some people no. And just try, because that's it's so important. Otherwise, there's no chance to practice. Yeah. So Raizo said Kansai Ben is very difficult. Yeah, Kansai Ben is very difficult. For sure. I cannot speak Kansai Ben. Only I know like a Nanyanen. What what is that? I think Nanyanen is, what is that? Nani is Tokyo way. Nanyanen. I'm not sure if it's like, what is that? Nanyanen. I'm not sure. I think what is that? It's very difficult. I mean, Japanese dialect is not only Kansai. There are so many dialects. Is you actually go to South Japan, North Japan, they speak totally differently. Differently. That's why you can improve your speaking skill, but it's listening skill. If you really try to improve, it's very difficult because so many people speaks to you totally different way, different politeness, different actually dialect. So, learning Japanese is going to be forever. I mean, like English, like British English, Australian English, New Zealander English to American English, Texas English, New York, Los Angeles. It's not all English is very different. So you can learn it forever. But you need to actually choose the way you actually want to speak, right? So speaking skill is up to you. You actually practice, you can improve. But listening skill, you actually really need to meet a lot of people. You need to meet a lot of people to see and learn the differences. Yeah. So that's why, yes, dialect is gonna be forever, because so many way to speak in Japanese. But it's really fun. I really like to see the differences. Even in English, totally people speaks totally differently. So the next is when you don't understand anything when they talk to you so fast or something, always ask like a child. Yes. So always please ask, like, do you know how to ask nicely in Japanese? How do you ask when you don't understand? This is so important. Otherwise, whenever people talk to you so fast, you can't reply anything. So it's very important to actually know how to ask nicely. For example, personally, I really recommend how to ask is mm, どういう意味ですか？どういう意味ですか？ What does it mean? You can learn if you're using. Pronunciation is どういう意味ですか？どういう意味ですか？ What does it mean? So you can actually learn while speaking when you didn't understand. A lot of people actually hesitate to ask, but that's bad habits because they cannot learn if they don't ask. So if you don't understand, just ask. Just ask, because otherwise you're not learning anything. You just didn't understand. You just left, not understanding anything. You just left. So you need to actually ask what you didn't understand. Oh, what does it mean? どういう意味ですか? Yes. Otherwise, you can't learn anything in the while speaking. You just freeze up. I didn't understand. You actually leave it. So ask when you didn't understand. So the next is take the initiative to join the conversation. So yeah, this is so important, and then I understand it's very challenging because for example, like 2, 3, 4 Japanese people are talking, and how you gonna join? Like how they're talking, like oh, 昨日どうだった? Yeah, 楽しかった. Was it? Was it? Was it? How was it? And actually you join. Oh, 何話してるんですか? What are you guys talking about? Yeah. how to actually, join the conversation and you actually read the conversation. Yeah, otherwise you're just listening, you're not asking, you're not learning, and you feel bored, and then in the ending up you just left because they start talking Japanese. I didn't understand anything. It's been so many years. If you're doing like that habit, it's really, really bad because you can't actually solve this, in problem that you want to improve your listening skill. You have to join and ask. So, どういう意味ですか? It's very useful. So the next is number 7. Have a clear purpose in learning to speak Japanese. Yes. Why do you want to learn Japanese? That's so important to actually ask yourself always. Why do you want to learn Japanese? What do you want to do with Japanese? So thank you so much for commenting as Terumi 先生。日本のどこでも東京弁が分かられていますけど。First of all, my Terumi name is not that kanji. My Terumi kanji is actually a little bit better, actually. But thank you so much for writing me in Japanese. My Terumi kanji is this one. Yes. My name is that kanji. Not that kanji. This is actually shining beautiful means shining is beautiful. Shining? Am I shining? That kanji, Terumi. This is like a sunshine and beautiful. That's also nice. But my name is just shining. Anything like star, not just a sunshine. This is sunshine and beautiful. So my name is not that kanji. It's this kanji. Yes. Anyway, so let me see. What was your question? So thank you so much. Your comment at three boss. 大丈夫です。間違ってすいません。大丈夫。日本のどこでも東京弁が分かられていますけど、so you wanted to ask like that Japanese, I mean Tokyo dialects, it's everybody, and does everybody understand or not? Yes, everybody understand. It's like, I don't know which nationality are you. It's like, capital city language is a Tokyo Ben, is a Tokyo dialect. So it's a capital city. It's famous, right? In any country. So that's why everybody understand if you talk like a Tokyo way. But if you don't talk in a Tokyo way, some people can't understand what you're saying. Like Kansai dialect, it's like Osaka dialect. It's very different. Some people can't actually understand exactly. Some people, a lot of people understand because it's Kansai dialect is still like really famous. But let's say like if you really go South Japan, really, really South Japan, not many people can understand. So that's why if you talk like a Tokyo way, everybody can understand you. So, other question. こんにちは、てるみ先生。What do you think about joining an anime song tour based in Germany, Munich? That is. Oh, very cool. Anime song is nice. I mean, it's not like exactly you learn language by singing, but you can learn many things. It's like, for example, you can practice your pronunciation because you have to sing. And also you can, because you're gonna sing, you're gonna understand what lyrics means, right? So you can learn a lot of vocabulary naturally, and also you can learn how to pronounce it well. So yeah, join. Nice. Munich. I'm gonna be in Munich after next week, actually. Yeah, beautiful city. I love it. Nice, nice, nice. So I really recommend. Yeah, if you have this chance, join. If you have a chance to join and join it. Yes. All right. So let's go. What we are talking about. Yeah. Why do you want to learn Japanese? So that's why. If you really want to improve Japanese speaking skills, I mean, if you really want to master the language, you need to actually have a strong will. A strong will. I mean, you're gonna do this. That's actually the motivation. It's Japanese language. It's no one, it's not required by no one, right? It's unfortunately or fortunately. I mean, fortunately or unfortunately. Um, I mean, no one actually say to you, you must learn Japanese, otherwise I will kill you. No, no one say to you like that. Which means you have to push yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna say, "Oh, tired. I'm not gonna study Japanese. I'm not gonna learn Japanese because I'm busy. I'm tired. I don't have time or something, something." So, which means because it's not no one actually no one pushes you to learn Japanese, you usually postpone very often. Everybody does. Like everybody say, like I'm learning so many years and they're not. I'm not making progress because stop and again start, stop and again start, and then you start forgetting everything and start from scratch again and again, 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 again for decades. You know. So like always, you need to think why should you speak Japanese? Because they want to do this. For example, in our school, it's very common because they want to move to Japan. On the life is only once. They really want to move to Japan at least 1 year or 2 years. They want to experience what is a life in Japan. Something you really need to decide yourself. Otherwise, so many people just postpone to learn. Yeah. So I just didn't want to postpone myself. That's why I left Japan, and that's actually obviously I now can speak many languages, and yeah. So you need to decide yourself why you really want to learn, and you can do this. But if you don't decide yourself, a lot of people just postpone every day to study because study itself is not so fun. So don't try to translate the language while speaking. Number 8, and I'm talking about bilingual mindset. So when you speak Japanese, a lot of people try to translate in English, like, oh, I want to say these things in English, so how can I say in Japanese? You cannot communicate like that way. I mean, because how you communicate in Japanese with the Japanese is not like English. So if you're thinking in English, how can I say these things in English and how can I say in Japanese? If you're translating, you always speak very strange Japanese. It's like American Japanese, or if you're German, German Japanese. Something is not really Japanese, it's strange Japanese. So you should not translate. So don't translate the language, right? So you should know how to communicate like a native. So you actually follow how the native people speak, not translating your mother language. And of course, don't number 9, don't stress about not understanding, enjoy learning like a child. So when the people actually learning, they actually feel always stressed that it's oh what the anime is saying, I don't understand. So always they put the subtitle anyway. So they're not learning. So if you really want to learn Japanese, do not put English subtitle. It's no meaning. It's subtitle in English. Japanese, what they're speaking in anime is totally different. Totally different. So that's why you cannot learn almost anything from subtitle. Do not put subtitle while watching Japanese anime. If you want to learn Japanese. So do not put subtitles while watching Japanese anime. If you want to learn Japanese, yes, from today, you're going to totally delete, turn off the whole subtitle. And now you cannot enjoy so much because you don't understand what exactly saying. But that's the way you can learn by watching anime. Of course, you need to actually learn, not just only watching anime, you need to use the language. Otherwise, you're just passively watching, but you actually don't really understand forever. So, but if you really want to watch anime more effectively, you need to turn off the English subtitle at all. It's no meaning. As I said, it's how the subtitles translated in English or what the Japanese people are exactly saying is totally different. So you actually misunderstand so much things if you really think, oh, I can learn from English subtitle, but it's actually it's very different. So you can't use it. So Zephyus さん、こんにちは。はい、こんにちは。元気ですか？皆さん元気ですか？はい。So, the last thing is do not study the language, train the language. Yes, exactly. So as I said, it's so many people just studying the language, they're not using, so they cannot speak. So I don't know. As I said, it's why do you want to learn Japanese? Depends on the reason why you want to learn. But if you want to be able to speak Japanese, yes, you should not study the language because a lot of things is not written in textbook. And if you try to learn only from textbook, you will speak like a textbook, which is very unnatural. So that's why you should not study the language. You actually need to train the language. What is the training? Pronunciation training, communication training, which is like how to respond, how to ask nicely, and based on the Japanese culture. So you can actually really train nicely, like when you learn mother language. Yeah. てるみ先生は天皇陛下が好きですか？ This is no one asked this question in my life. That's so interesting. てるみ先生は天皇陛下が好きですか？ Do I like a Japanese royal family? To be honest, yes and no. Yes, because I have to respect Japan because I'm Japanese, and I think a Japanese royal family is the longest royal family in the world. I mean, the blood, right? Like they get married, and then the son is and the son of 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 son of somebody for 2,000 years, right? So like the longest blood family in the world is Japanese royal family. So I have to respect. That's congratulations. How many actually really try to, make a child for 2,000 years? That's so crazy. So I respect, and I don't. No, I don't. I don't say I don't like it. It's just I never really thought about like I just how can I say how can I say the existence of royal family to me is a country symbol. It's like, do you like a Japanese flag or yes or no? Yes and no, like too simple, but it also simple. Good. Never thought about so much. Like something like that. Like, do you like Japanese royal family? Yes, 2,000 years. That's amazing. No, I never thought about so much. Yeah. What do I like about Japan? What do I like about Japan is Japanese people are so polite, kind, and also Japanese food is crazy amazing, and that's I really like. Yeah, I mean Japan is one of the greatest country for sure, but the bad things is yes sometimes I feel like Japanese people are too quiet. it can be more, interactive. How can I say? They must speak a little bit more. It's just too quiet sometimes. But because that's why they are polite. Yes. So I think I summarize all the point of actually what is a bilingual mindset, and then about a little bit how to learn. So thank you so much everyone for joining these things. And then usually I do this live streaming, quick live streaming every Saturday. Sometimes I'm not doing, but I try to do as best, as much as possible every Saturday. So if you actually join my group session, not group session, it's this live streaming. Thank you so much. So Terumi sensei, greeting from Ilacrion. Gerashimo. Oh, hi. Thank you so much for greeting. So yeah, how's going? How's it going? Everything okay? I'm gonna go back to Heraklion tomorrow. My home. Yes. So everyone, thank you so much for joining, and I hope see you soon. See you next week.